Hey, you're now listening or watching the Halos in the Infield podcast with your hosts Todd Fox and Fernando the Lone Star Halo, brought to you in part by Noble L Works, just outside of Anaheim Stadium and the Pond, or the Honda Center, where you can get drink specials just by mentioning Halos in the Infield. Also brought to you in part by 714 Tickets. 714 Tickets. 714 Tickets is a place to go to get 10% off of any ticket purchase just by also mentioning HITI, Halos in the Infield. Now enjoy the show.
Live every night on the Halos in the Infield Baseball Network.
Welcome to the Halos in the Infield post-game podcast with Todd Fox, sponsored by Noble Ale Works Brewery, as well as 714 Tickets. This is your nightly destination for all things Los Angeles Angels. Come join Todd as he recaps every thrilling and disappointing moment from tonight's game, win or lose. Get ready for insightful analysis, fan reactions, and Todd's engaging commentary. Plus, fans can call in live to the Halo hotline to have their voices and opinions heard as well.
It's the Halo hotline.
Stay tuned in for your chance to win free Halos merchandise with our weekly trivia.
It's all about the game.
It's time to dive into the heart of Angels baseball with Todd Fox on the Halos in the Infield postgame podcast.
There's a drive from Mike Trout. See you later. That is long gone.
It's the Todd Fox postgame podcast with your host, Todd Fox.
Hey, welcome into another episode of the Todd Fox post-game show podcast here on the Halos in the Infield Baseball Network, as we did a podcast earlier during the game as we were watching it, me and Fernando. So check that out on tomorrow's daily podcast for your Angels. If you want all the Angels, we always have a show for you on this network. So with that being said, whether it's podcast form, the way you listen to it, or the way you watch it as you are now, welcome into the show. The Angels get a win 7-1. And are you surprised that Tyler Anderson is pitching as well as he is? Because so far it's sort of like anything you can do, I can do better, which is Tyler Anderson, and it seems to be his little friendly rivalry with one Reed Detmers, because Reed Detmers has put out two fantastic performances in a row. And guess what? The Tyler Anderson experience continues. We all heard about, hey, he's changed this. He's worked on this in the offseason. He's trying to get back into 2022 form. Last year, he was very disappointed. We heard all the talk, and players talk all the time, but can you walk the walk? And so far, Tyler Anderson has come out the gate hot. And you got two really good, solid pitching performances in a row. And you, as an Angel fan, have to be excited for the way that these two left-handers, at least two out of the five rotation pitchers, have come out on fire. Now, we want to see Sandoval elevate his game. We were going to say the same thing about Silseth, but we have news on that. And if you haven't heard, which if you've been under a rock and not following our page, you haven't, you missed out. Because if you follow the page, you get the news earlier. Plesac's son was released. We thought he was going to be a guy fighting for a roster spot in spring training, possibly getting a long spot or filling in for someone who gets hurt later in the year. He was released. Cisneros went on the IL, and so did Chase Silseth, and we're waiting on his MRI. Hopefully we know by tomorrow. Fingers crossed that it's nothing more than just a little bit soreness in the elbow, but that's never a good sign, so we have to prepare for that. He was supposed to be one of these breakout pitchers. We hope he doesn't miss any extended time more than just a 10-day IL. That's the hope right now. But as he's placed on the 10-day IL, Soriano's rush to a starter goes even faster. Soriano's going to be pitching the finale, which I don't like. I'm putting it out there as I don't like, because it'll be a Wednesday day game. Temperatures around 80 to 85 degrees in Anaheim. Balls will be flying. The last appearance, he gave up 2 home runs. You got to work on that breaking stuff and not be throwing those fastballs on the line. And then you got Griffin Canning start pushed back to Friday. And that's going to a little concern me too, because again, Fenway, a guy who struggled so far this season, allowing home runs or a couple of big innings in his 2 starts being Griffin Canning. Now you're going to push him to a Friday start in Boston, where again, Boston's been hitting the ball really good. I don't like that either, but we'll get to that. That's one game at a time. Why? The Angels win tonight 7-1. And if you want to talk about finally Finally, a game where you're not clenching your butt cheeks. Finally, a game where they're winning from start to finish. Finally, an easy game. The starting pitching, and again, if Moreno, hello, McFly, that's Artie Moreno, you need starting pitching, because look at even what we're getting from these guys who a lot of us think that they're okay pitchers, but none of them are number one. But let's just face it, Reed Detmers and Tyler Anderson, their 4 starts combined, they're pitching like aces. They are, and they're not going to pitch like this all season, but they can show you what they can do. And that's very reassuring. But in the end, Artie, you need more pitching for the staff. If Silseth goes down, who else are you going to bring up? Soriano, a converted reliever? We don't have these pitchers that are just ready and willing in the minor leagues to fill in the void, or we don't have that other pitcher. So we're going to focus on the good from the bad. There's a lot, we can always harp on. We'll have plenty of time for that. But when the Angels put together a really, really good start to finish, complete victory with very few things to nitpick on, it's refreshing. It's refreshing because, again, Tampa's not a slouch. There's a lot of teams that when I finish out the post game tonight, I'll go through the standings, or at least the records on some of these finals when I do around the league scoreboard tonight. You'll see there's teams like San Diego who's got a better roster than us, San Francisco. You'll see the Torontos. They're a game under 500 right now. That's just the first week of the season. That's how it goes. I'm sure there's teams looking at the Angels like, how are they 6-4? So it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And it's one game at a time for us. Just worry about tomorrow's game against Tampa, and we'll figure things out from there. And I think that's where the organization's going. But enough of that. Let's talk about what happened tonight. And it's going to be very hard to pick out the John Stamos Award winner tonight because there's so many guys who contributed. The one thing I will say about the lineup tonight is you see what happens when you get production. You see what happens when you put guys on base. Hello, McFly to Phil Numbnuts Nevin. Hello, McFly to Mr. Smoking Joe Madden. If you put guys on base and stop swinging for the fences and you play small ball and play within yourself, take what the pitcher gives you, good things freaking happen. You get the bleeders. You get the flare balls. You get the gappers. You get the first to thirds. None of this bullshit where it's okay, we get a solo home run, but then 9 outs later, we're not doing anything else. We're not walking. We're not taking pitches. It's just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You see what happens too when the top of the order gets going? My goodness, are pigs flying tonight? Is it snowing in Los Angeles? Is it the result of the partial eclipse in Los Angeles? Because Anthony Rendon has 3 hits. It must have been the eclipse, because somehow, some way, that tool got it starting tonight with a base hit in the first inning. And then a guy who we've been on his case. Again, he's the GOAT. He's our favorite. He's Mr. Loyalty. But at some point, Mike Nelson Trout, it's nice to hit home runs, but your Han Solos, you need to start lowering your back shoulder. You need to bring that elbow down, and you need to start putting the ball in play and using your speed, getting on base, not only to knock in a run, because you've left a bunch of guys on base in the first 9 games. Memo got there. I don't know if it was the eclipse submittably, putting power into our hitters tonight, or making them say, hey, you know what, let's go back to basics, or it's the coaching staff. Whatever it is, it worked tonight, and I hope they continue to use the same approach, because Anthony Rendon kick-started the offense. Moniak, he didn't get a hit that first at bat, but then Mike Nelson Trout decided to triple down the line using that gazelle-like speed that we haven't seen in a couple years because he's constantly injured. He tripled in Rendon. It's 1-0. Rendon had to go on oxygen because he's not run that fast in a long time. 1-0 Angels in the first inning. Then Taylor Ward decides, hey, man, I'm going to stay hot. And he got a single and drove in a run. And all of a sudden, it's 2-0. So right away, you're giving a pitcher who's already confident coming out of spring training in his first start. A lot of people doubting him, saying, oh, my God, it was against the Miami Marlins. That doesn't really count. Well, Tampa's a good team, and he shut him down. First inning, he didn't give up a run right away. Shut down inning. So then we went to the third inning. Trout's second at bat. Bam, right over the fence. Han Solo number 5. It's Angels 3, I was going to say Marlins. Rays, nothing. And then Ward singled again in right when Rendon and Moniak were in scoring position on second and third. Clutch base hit with runners in scoring position, something we needed when Boston was here. Couldn't get it. We got it against them. 5 runs against Eflon. It's 5-0 Angel or 5-0 Angels at that point. We're cruising, and then the bullpen comes in for Tampa. They put in that guy's name, Wisnasnak, pack something or other. He gives up a run scoring single to Renifo as Sano scored. Drury went to third, and then Moniak in the 8th inning would single in Rendon, and then Rays got a garbage time run in the 9th. Now, the Angels have lost 7 straight series to the Tampa Bay Rays, and getting off to a good start against this Tampa Bay Rays is always good, and it's usually the other way around where the Rays have a 7-0 lead. We get a garbage time run. It's nice to reverse the roles. It's still early in the season. Yes, 10 games in, but you look at the numbers and look at this lineup. Through the first 4 guys, look at this. Anthony Rendon finishes with not 1, not 2, but 3 hits. He got the 3 hits, 3 runs scored. That's production. And because of those 3 hits, his average goes all the way up to 162. Mickey Moniak contributed 2 hits. His average went all the way up to 167. Mike Trout had 3 hits tonight. His average went up to 297, 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs, including the home run. He came a double shy of the cycle. Taylor Ward had 3 hits, 5 in 5 at bats, 3 RBIs. He's batting .310 with an on-base percentage of 326. He's got 3 home runs and 11 RBIs through the first 10 games. He is obviously our hottest Angel. Miguel Sano added a walk with a hit and a run scored. Brandon Drury actually got a hit, but he had 2 strikeouts. Louis Renifo had a hit tonight. Ohapi and Neto were the only ones without hits tonight, but at least Neto had a walk. So all in all, great lineup approach tonight. Only 7 strikeouts for the Angels. That's always good when it's under 10. So they put the ball in play. Now, here's the other thing. You look at the Rays. You can say, well, Todd, the Rays only had 3 strikeouts, so they put the ball in play. But see, the thing is, though, their contact was soft. They were swinging over pitches. Why? The pitches were breaking. So pitches that look like meatballs up there, by the time they're taking those big-ass hacks, they're swinging over top and hitting weak ground balls to either third base, second base, or shortstop. And the Angels were just thriving. And it was easy outs by Tyler Anderson. Tyler Anderson has proven that he doesn't have to be a strikeout pitcher. He could be a guy who, if he keeps the ball down in the strike zone, you're going to have to reach for it. And if you don't adjust, he could change the elevation. If he's got a lot of movement, he's going to fool you all night. And that's what maybe he's found his stroke again. I still don't think he'll pitch like Dodger Tyler Anderson for the entire season, but he'll give you a few more of these this season. And he may have a stinker here and there, but I think maybe he's found his way a little bit to where maybe he'll end the year with an under 4 ERA, and he's going to be one of your better pitchers of the staff instead of a guy we thought that was going to anchor the number 5 spot. So I'm very encouraged to the first 2 starts. I know it's early, but he pitched at contact. He only threw 91 pitches, 67 which were strikes. Great performance for him. So now that's going to make me decide. And look at this. They pressured. And I love seeing less and less 0 frames for the Angels. Through the scoreboard tonight, you had only the 2nd inning where they didn't score, the 4th inning where they didn't score, the 6th inning where they didn't score. That's it. And they scored 2 in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd, 2 in the 5th, 1 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th. That means they're constantly pressuring. I like the fact, even though if I was playing against them, I would think it was Bush League, the fact that they were trying to go 1st and 3rd and Moniak was thrown out at third base. With a 7-run lead, Moniak shouldn't have went to 3rd. I chalk that up to him being young. But when that's one of the unwritten rules, you kind of don't take that extra base being up more than 5 or 6 runs. But that's just the player in me who played a little bit of minor league baseball. So with that being said, let me get into the freaking the awards tonight, and let's talk about the Golden Stamos. The Golden Stamos presented to you by Roger Lodge and Halos in the Infield for the best player on the field. We got to pick one. Tyler Anderson, and I know there's going to be some people on X and a few other social media, Instagram. Why didn't you pick Anthony Rendon? He hustled tonight. He had 3 hits, and I want to give it to him, but he's a douchebag. And I'll give it to him eventually if he continues to, one time isn't going to fool me into making him the Stamos Award winner. I mean, he would have had to have won the game. Those 3 hits, to be honest with you and to be fair, if Tyler Anderson wasn't pitching as good as he did tonight, I would have given it to Anthony Rendon. Hell, there was even a shot, you would say, well, Mike Trout had a home run. He was a double shy of the cycle. How come you didn't give it to him? Again, we've seen Mike Trout go off like this, and he's had plenty of he has plenty of John Stamos awards in his award shelf next to his MVPs. I'm sure he values a John Stamos trophy just like an MVP. So it's right there. He's got plenty of those. I could have given it to Taylor Ward, who has a few Stamoses from last year. I could have given it to him with the 3 for 5, and he's got 3 home runs, 11 RBIs. But again, Anthony Rendon's eclipse maybe gave him these 3 hits. If he does this tomorrow, then I'm on board with giving him a Stamos. But I think Tyler Anderson's back-to-back, I mean, he should have gotten the team should have got credited for a shutout. Back-to-back times. I think it was Luis Garcia that blew his shutout over there in Miami. And then tonight it was Hunter Strickland who came in and blew his shutout here at home again in Anaheim. So, but either way, it goes down for him as a shutout. He's gotten 14 innings now. 14 innings of shutout baseball. That is outstanding. And again, I don't need to see the strikeouts. What I want to see is what he did tonight. In the key to the Miami game, he had only 2 walks. In this game, 1 walk. If you're not fucking around the strike zone was crazy tonight. I'll give him that. There was some pitches where I'm like, oh, it's a ball. Strike. Oh, that's a strike. Ball. But he worked with it, didn't complain, called his game, and it was good afternoon, good morning, or good morning, good afternoon, good night. And again, I love the fact that if he can keep the walks under 4, it doesn't matter how many strikeouts. Strikeouts are just a bonus for Tyler Anderson. If he's getting ground balls, the balls are flares to the outfield or lazy fly balls. When you see him pitching to contact and the contact is that weak to where even the elevated ones are barely getting to mid outfield, he's on his game. When he's getting guys who are batting from the right side, hitting weak ground balls to short, or they're having to stretch to get him to Rendon at third, and Rendon has plenty of time to throw him out, he's on his game. And guess what? That's 2 starts in a row on his game. So yes, he gets the golden Stamos. I know there was plenty of other Angels that could have won it, but I have to give it to my boy Tyler Anderson. I believe it was a great job tonight. Now let's talk about the other side of the John Stamos, which is the Nacho Night. Nacho Night!
I love the nachos, gas station nachos. I love those nachos, yeah. Gas station nachos, ow.
Nacho Night Award presented to you also by Halos in the Infield 714 Tickets, Believe Network. If you're looking for a podcast to look for your favorite team in baseball, well, you have us over there on Believe in Sirius, but go to Believe Network and you could find any one of your teams. If you have a favorite college football team that you can't listen to their station here, you could find it there. You could find your favorite hockey team, football team. It doesn't matter. Any sport, anywhere, Believe Network has it on podcast form. We are there as well. So with that being said, the Nacho Night Award winner goes to the starting pitcher for the Tampa Bay Rays, Zach Eflin. Not Zach Efron, but he pitched like Zach Efron tonight. 5 innings pitched, 9 hits allowed, 5 earned runs, and 1 home run allowed. He was one of their better pitchers, but he has struggled out the gate, and the Angels helped him struggle even more as the Angels put up a 5 spot on him, and Tyler Anderson was never looking back. It felt like 3-0 after Trout's home run. It felt like the way Tyler Anderson was pitching, the Rays had no chance tonight. And thankfully, the Angels added on and put the game away. It's nice to know that we had a touchdown lead at one point. It was very nice to know. So the Angels got the win tonight. And again, those are my points or my comments on the game tonight. Again, the Angels win 7-1. And they still left 9 guys on base. So, I mean, you're never going to be perfect. I'm not complaining because they did, with runners in scoring position, 4 for 12. and that will most likely get you into the win column when you do stuff like that. You're generating base runners. They had stolen bases tonight. They threw a player out that was trying to steal against them. So again, all around complete victory. So let's get into the comments tonight. There's a lot of them as we get started here tonight. First up is James Malou. He says, balls, and holy Rendon, Batman. He can't believe that he's tearing it up tonight. Mr. Rendon with a big play tonight.
Time for you to check out what I want. I want balls and John Stamos.
Rendon. Let's see. Also, we got James, and then Marty checks in with the massive booze Rendon has received may just be what is needed to focus him and get him going. The chair says Anderson was a dog tonight. A good win for the Angels. Trout looking better. He loves those solo home runs, though. He can't get enough of them, that's for sure. And another one, not to Halo honk, but if we keep outminding or midding the mid, we could be somewhere. Maybe not the World Series, but somewhere. That's the thing, dude. Just our thing was, I don't believe they're a playoff team, but if they were to somehow get to the playoffs, and that's what we've said every season since we've been in a program, is just get to the postseason and anything can happen. So you never know. So I'll honk your honk. There you go. So, you know, we're not all out honks, but we'll give it there. Vintage Trout tonight, James says. Halo Homie says the Halo should bring up Barry McCockner to take the place of Silseth. Also, Cowboy Carlos says, so far the Dodger Tyler Anderson is starting the season. Yes, Cowboy, that is looking good. Ray Ocho says, I said Rendon would get hot after his first hit. You did call it, and I will give you props for that, Ray. AC says Rendon's batting average is now a Jeff Mathis territory. Well, you bring up the great all-star. Why is it number 5 retired? Pujols should have never gotten Jeff Mathis's number. Marty says Trout had a chance for the cycle had he not tried to swing for the fences after that home run. Exactly. Dan says, light that baby up. Anderson looks like the pitcher we wanted last season, and it's good that we get him this season since we're so skinny on pitchers. Anderson was a beast again tonight. James says we need more of the pitchers doing that going into the 7th. Shit, if we get starting pitching, which we haven't had in the last 3 years, consistently get to the 5th and maybe give us 5 1/3, 5 2/3, hell, I'll take that any day, every day. If you can give me 5 2/3 every day, you don't necessarily have to give me 6 or 7, but when you give me 6 or 7, boy, oh boy, is that a nice surprise. And again, Joe Madden would have took Tyler Anderson out in the 5th inning. Numbnuts Nevin would not have let him start, would have let him start the 6th just to take him out without facing anybody. Rendon sucks, a.k.a. Steve Lease. Anna says Anderson looked good, but we cannot deny that. Adele sucks, says Steve Lease. Rendon hit 3 hits. Is it the apocalypse? I don't know. Good night. Is the game over? Yes, it is. Big 20. Also, Facebook user says, Wash with the motivation speech are working. Rendon went 3 for 4. Hopefully this is how we play through the year. Trout, Homer, Q, Bally's, and that is always a song that they like to go to when there is a big time home run. They have to go to this. Do. Let's see. Oh, of course, I don't know since Nero went to the DL. He did so. Jim says, on our first DFA of the year is Zach Plesac. We gave him a $1 million contract this year, and poof, gone already. Check out his attitude problem he had in Cleveland. That's why he got DFA'd. So unfortunately, yeah, we didn't even get to see him pitch as an Angel. Zuniga went to the IL as well. Thank you, Anna. Also, Jim Hoyt says, so hoping Trout was going to hit for the cycle. He teased us. He sure did. Sold on Anderson yet, Anna says, or does he need more time to show what he could do with consistency? Yeah, I need to see more, Anna. I need to see a few more games, but hopefully he gets it going. We are in need of starting pitching. DFA Plesac Artie. That's a good one, Grill Master. That is Artie logic. Artie ain't buying pitchers, Todd. He's a tight ass. He sure is. Bauer still needs a home. Exactly, Alex. We need to buck the trend and give that guy a little contract, which he's not asking for much. Actually, we paid Plesac more than what he's asking. Grillmaster says, call up Davis Daniel to start and DFA Suarez and add Kenny Rosenberg to the pen to be a long reliever. I would be okay with that. I'm done with my boy, but watch him pitch Suarez somewhere else and good. I think Trout's homer was a solo. It sure was. Demetrio says, my only complaint tonight is Taco Bell hurt my tummy. Then stop eating it. Don't be like me and be like, hey, I'm going to stop eating those hot dogs. You smell that? That's a hot dog. And then I'm right back in. And I'm like that with Taco Bell, dude. That is like a natural laxative. David says Anaheim Angels will win tomorrow again. I like that. Also, Grillmaster says, Todd, the starting pitching tomorrow for Tampa, Cavill. It's pronounced Chevali. It's Cavill to me. I don't care. Jim says, no more than 13,000 fans here tonight. We had our Santa Claus fan dressed up and hanging out. He was looking for the Heedy clown to see if he was going to be a good boy or this season. Did he really ask you that? Because I'm going to tell him I'll be bad boy. Edwin says, Tony Two Bags, 3 for 4. Ron Washington has magical motivational speeches. I like that, and I hope that's the case because keep them coming. That's what she said. See, I didn't think there was going to be Eflin way we'd beat Zach and Tampon Bay. Impressive. Anna, you are hanging around with your boyfriend way too much. R. Martinez says, today's win was because Artie got booed. Exactly. Also, I know it's early, but the stars are aligning. Mateo likes the start. I like it. Jim says, 0 response from Rendon from any fans tonight. The man was or has a worse reputation than that girl in high school that the halter top and too much makeup. And, you know, when I was in high school, it was the tramp stamp and it was the was it multicolored hair, like, you know, like the blonde streaks for girls that had either brown hair or auburn hair. If they had the blonde streaks and those hooped earrings, man, you watch out for them. They're not tight, if you know what I mean. Liking the Moniac Hustle, definite diamond in our rough. I like that as well. Todd, are you referring to Jacob? Yes, I am. Grillmaster says, and Todd had 2 hits. Trout had 2 hits. He sure did. Keep booing Rendon. Yeah, keep it up. Ray Ochoa says, Sano has been smoking the ball. I'd like to see him in the lineup at least 4 times a week. I'd like to see him and Adele in the lineup at the same time. And unfortunately, Adele is wearing that windbreaker really good nowadays. Marty says 162 average, just as shitty as Squid as far as I'm concerned. Garbage time solo home run, usually brought to you by Mike Nelson Trout. Tonight's game was a great team effort. It sure was. Bringing up Hunter Strickland, he's washed up Manasseh. And don't forget Herget. He should be set up opposed to this guy. He has more teams on his resume than Gaylord Perry. Finally, some damn Stukas, Dan Rios says. Also, Restunning making his restunning return to the show says Anderson looked good as a first Angel ever to go 14 innings without a run. That is awesome. I love it. Unless, oops, hold on a second. That came on right there. I don't know if you guys heard that. Unless the Rally Monkey is still running your board. Well, he is, unfortunately. I'll try playing it. If you could hear it, then that's gold. If not, unfortunately, no. Moreno will be waking up soon. Maybe he's calling in tonight too. Nice seeing the Angels having more time at the plate than our opponents. Exactly. That's the problem we've had too in years past, especially last year, is the other team spends more time hitting, and basically we're up and down before the commercials. You know what I mean? Like the commercials have more run time. I agree. Pitching deserves it whenever it can because these moments are few and far between, R. Martinez says. Amen to that. Let's see. Yo, what are you doing? How was your day? My day has been good, Big 20. Angels, please, 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 for the love of God, have a good year this year. Edwin also says, when are we going to see Plesac? Also, your thoughts on today's lineup without Shanawell. Well, Plesac just got DFA'd, Edwin, so there you have it. Shanawell not being in the lineup, we need to fix his mentality. He needs a little bit more practice. His approaches have been a little bit bad. He'll get it going, but that's my biggest concern is we don't want this to go to his head with his average sinking. At some point, you got to play somebody else over there, and they did tonight, and they got the W, and maybe this can be motivation for him to get back into the lineup. Angels and Rangers are tied for first. I'm not even looking at the standings right now. I'll take a look at those at the end of the month. Heedy fans need our current standings for leader and Stamos and Nacho award. Yes, we do. Mateo says, I can tell the team has a different mindset. It sure does. R. Martinez says, does Trout even like being called by his middle name? Roger just started doing that for no reason, acting like he knows Trout and that level. That's why I do it, to mock Roger. Anything that Roger does, I like to mock him because he's so cheesy and stupid. But yeah, there you go with that. Yeah, he goes, Mike Nelson Trout. Here's another home run from Mike Nelson Trout. Like, shut up. What do you think about the hit, or who will hit better, Drury or Sano? I think Drury's going to wind up driving the ball. He's notorious. Just look at his career. Every team he's been on in April, he sucks. Tim Salmon used to annoy Angel fans like that throughout his career. He would be just nasty in April, and then all of a sudden he'd tear it up in May and June. So there's no doubt that Drury's going to get it going. I think Sano can possibly have a good year this year. If Sano gives you like 12 and 50 and like a 270 average, I'll take that all day. And I think he could do that and possibly hit a few more home runs. But once he hits that first home run, watch, you'll see him get it going. But right now he's smashing hits and working walks, and I like that. Tyler Anderson is the only Halo to pitch back-to-back 7 innings with no runs to start a season. Yeah, that is awesome. MT checks in with, hi, Todd, great show. I'm boycotting the Angels this year because of Artie. However, I like to tune into your show. I appreciate that, MT. And MT, baseball is life. Forget Artie, Jim says. Speaking of Roger, when does the season start? Well, let's see. I have to check my schedule. I thought it started tonight, but I think Roger has a different mentality.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Well, so it is tonight. Okay, so I was thinking maybe he was going to go for tomorrow. Facebook user says, great game. You might want to write in your names because Facebook, if you're commenting from Facebook, I can't see the names for whatever reason. It does not want to tell me your name. Edwin says, for sure, 2024 Angels are playing way better. We finally have a culture in our clubhouse. R. Martinez says, Snell only went 3 innings for the Giants. Too early to judge him? I think it is, but you kind of raise an eyebrow, don't you, R? And then Big 20 says, Trout of hair. Edwin says, light that baby up. Matty says, how about Rendon, bro? Oh, man. Dude, Matt is one of these guys he's my boy, but he's a big Rendon fan. And he made a bet with my girl saying that $50 that Rendon will play over 81 games. She took the under. And I thought it was a given that she was going to win the under, but seeing him play every game but one, I'm like, uh-oh. It may be in question this year, that bet. I thought a sure thing was Steve Elise's bet, but there's a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tomorrow. So he could go down or he could be DFA'd. We'll see. Mateo says Ron Washington might be the manager who we need. He did bring the Rangers back to the World Series twice. Watch him bring us back to the World Series. Oh, I wish. Just get us to the playoffs and he's manager of the year. Angels just signed a pitcher, Angel Felipe from the A's. Oh, man. You got to love that if we're getting A's pitchers. Jack Chandler says, I love seeing Renifo in the lineup tonight. Yes, he is a spark plug. Fabio says the top 4 of the lineup had 10 hits. Is that something to think about or what? I love that. Let's see. Also, Mateo says, I'm worried for tomorrow because Sandy starts tomorrow. And you don't know what you're getting with him. So, yes, we need to get him going. Renee Foe, silently says, Bauer actually signed to play in Mexico, but he can get out of that contract. Trust me, if the MLB team says, hey, we want you tomorrow, he's saying, adios, muchachos. He's leaving Mexico. Sapphire says, Todd. Okay, what? Let's see. Also, Plesac most likely was let go because of his $1 million salary and will go unclaimed and go back to AAA. Our minimum wage prospects would have been claimed. Well, let's see. 7 runs on 14 hits is amazing. That's a very, very good hitting lineup tonight. Sapphire says, what do you think about MLB glazing the Dodgers and Ohtani and anything that has to do with them? Well, I will just say this. He is the golden boy. Sorry, I needed that. He is the golden boy right now for the Dodgers, and he is a golden boy for the MLB, and they know that they can grow the game exponentially if he's in the postseason. Get ready to see more bets by Ohtani and more Freeman. Those 3 players. They're going to be focused and showcased, and it's going to be Saturday baseball, Sunday night baseball, Monday night baseball. Anytime they can get the Dodgers in any kind of primetime action, they will. So they're going to be blowing them up. They're going to have all the best commentators all year. It's just That's what they want. They want the Dodgers to win, but we all know how this story ends, which is a choke job in the postseason. Anna says balls, and starting pitching because that's what we need. This team needs a lot of balls.
Time for you to check out what I want. I want balls and John Stamos.
Starting pitching. Also, your thoughts on today's lineup with Nolan Shanawa. Edwin said, I already touched on that one right there. Let's see. Q, the blue, you're my boy. I don't have that one right now. The Han Solo, I'll get to those. I'm just going to skip through a few of these comments to catch up a little bit here. And Mateo says the Angels are giving up their pitchers giving their pitchers more time to sip that good Gatorade. Dre Money says, what is your favorite and most affordable section to sit at the stadium? Dre, I'd have to say when it's not a Friday or Saturday night game, anywhere is good. Best seat in the house for me. I like to sit around 420, 417, around those areas if I can, or a little bit, no more on the, as close as I can to the rail on the 400 sections to shag some foul balls. They always hit them up there, and you can see the field nice and clearly, or it maybe down the line, a couple rows from the foul pole on either side. It's a nice place to get foul balls, also to be close in that center section, usually the 100 areas right there. Those are my favorite. But I have been kind of jaded a little bit because I do have a lot of fun over there with Jim in the 260 section because, he brings food. We have laughs. We talk trivia, talk Angels history. And there's a lot of cool people. He knows a lot of ushers over there. So we hang out over there. And a lot of my friends that are walking the concourse will come down and see us over there. So when Jim and I get together and we sit down there, I do have a blast in 260. So if a long-winded answer, I like sitting in 260. You do get a good vibe. The more hardcore fans are over there as well. Grillmaster says, everyone knows I randomly DFA this guy, DFA that guy, not Plesac or Levon Soto. The DFAs need to go to Suarez, Cisnero, and Zuniga. Yes, I agree. Grillmaster, you've been on your comments lately, and that is we know you as the DFA master. That should be your name. But yeah, I agree. I don't think Plesac should have went. Maybe the contract, like Jim says, was messing with it, or his attitude. But I do think he could provide some help to this pitching staff. And Levon Soto is a solid infielder, as you guys know. I hope he clears waivers. Also, the Angels have been traditional slow starters in April, but this year seems a little bit different. Why do I feel good about this season? Well, just don't be let down like a buttercup. All smiles from Anaheim tonight. Trout hits his 5th solo tonight. Grillmaster says also Trout crushes one to center field. See you later. That's the 5th homer this season. Angels lead 3-0 in the 3rd. Todd, how many games do you see Trout and Rendon playing together this year? That is hard to say. But if you can knock that one out of the ballpark, you're going to win some money in Vegas. But hey, Trout hits a home run. And then tomorrow,
John Stamos choked on me.
John Stamos will choke on him. So there you go. Let's see. Also, playoffs? No, I don't think so. Playoffs. Laugh out loud. The season starts in September. Roger, are you a bandwagon fan? Eric Wallace wants to know. Roger's latest is calling Ron Washington General Washington. Can you say dumb? Nothing more than Roger's self-promotion. Hey, look at and listen to me. Honkers, please give me a honk. Exactly. Boy, I'm telling you, that guy is so cheesy. He makes everything about him. He's like, hey, look at me over here. Like Jim says, Ron Washington is General Washington. Ha, 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 ha. And then the room gets very sticky after he does that. Let's see. Twins getting at that moment beat Team Ghetto. No, you're actually behind on that one, Dan. They lost tonight. Happy birthday, Joe Adele. Angel's grandma says. Eric Wallace follows that up as well. What the F is going on with the bloop hits by Drury? Todd, do you agree the Angels are swinging the bats well? They're doing better. They're not quite there yet, but they are doing better. I will give them that for sure. Let's see. Todd, are you drinking blood? Viva Los Angelitos. Halo Homie says, no, this is actually Hawaiian punch and water. I had a lot of red drinks this weekend at the stadium, but those were like 9 micheladas. That's why I came back buzzed as funk. And people were buying me beers too inside. So I was like, no mas, no beer on Sunday. That was a day of reflection and getting my head straight. Okay. Sorry. Jim knows the way to your heart via your belly, Todd. Hey, watch it, Marty. Let's see. How about the fake outrage from the propagandist boy? What outrage did he have? Was he trying to give his supposed sour take on what Wayne said? Israel says, what's going on here? Just started watching baseball last season, and I found this channel. Rad needed to listen to something while I roll a joint. Well, fire one up, Israel, and hopefully you're an Angels fan. You stick with us. You can call in if you want when we open up the phone lines. So there you go. We're very cut and dry here. We tell it like it is. Eric Ward says, good win tonight. Not sure if I'm sold on Anderson yet, but so far so good. This year, the Angels, the only thing I can say is from the previous staffs is would have never made the adjustments for Anderson like they have. Great point, Eric, because what we've been screaming and yelling about the last few years was this team needs to make in-game adjustments. This team needs to change their approach when they're not hitting in the first frame or two or the first time around the batting order and the pitcher looks like he's settling in. Mix things up, do different things. And those have been the adjustments. The pitching, letting guys have more, like, hey, you know what? He's pitched 6 innings. He's about at that 90 mark. The other managers would have took him out 5 pitches ago. Ron's like, let's give him a couple more outs. And look what happened. Tyler Anderson, by all circumstances, should have just finished the 7th. But, he probably went to Ron and said, hey, I got a few more outs. Can I go in? Ron's like, you know what? You're feeling it? Do it. And you know what? He went in there, gave up that hit, but he didn't complain because Ron gave him that shot. Once he gave up that hit, he's like, yeah, I'm toast. I got to come out. But he got a nice standing ovation. Ron's proud of him again. You like that confidence. You like the rest of the other coaches on the staff. They're more hands-on. You could see them talking with these players. There is, like what Mateo says, a different vibe to this team. There is something to it. And again, we're early. It's only 10 games. Maybe I'm smoking that good like Israel, and I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I'm trying to stay focused and playing it one game at a time. Enjoy this victory tonight. Let's turn the page tomorrow and try to keep the winning streak going, or make it 2 in a row. Because again, let's see our old coach, what he has to say about winning streaks.
All right, you guys, let's listen up. We won a game yesterday. If we win one today, that's 2 in a row. We win one tomorrow, that's called a winning streak.
Yep. So let's take care of that one tomorrow and then worry about that upcoming winning streak. Big 20 says, yes, sir. I feel good about this season too. Jim says, as a reminder, Wednesday day game, mini tacos, and no Google MLB trivia. Now a word from Jack in the Box. Yeah, the Jack in the Box commercials are off the chart. Todd, thoughts on Wayne wrapping MLB on the new one? He killed him. And we talked about it on the podcast. If you guys are new to the podcast too, if you want to check that out, check out our podcast on our videos. We did a podcast yesterday, me and it was for today, actually. Me and Rob talked about Wayne's comments. Tomorrow it's going to be on struggling hitters with me and Fernando. But yesterday's show, or today's show, I keep saying yesterday, but because we recorded yesterday, but today's show was talking about Wayne's comments, and we thought he was spot on. We thought, okay, he would be suspended right now by MLB. I'm pretty sure he got a strongly worded email. I'm pretty sure the organization got, a cease and desist. Don't do that shit again. Bally's warned him. But I don't think Wayne's going to get that. He got a slap on the wrist, but he's not going to get a suspension. Why? Because Mark Gubicza backed him up in that comment. So he didn't go on like Wayne did and go into the real negatives, but he did attack the MLB in the way that they treated the Shonawell thing, and he basically backed up his boy. So Gubicza had his back, and there's no way MLB is going to come down and say, hey, you know what, Bally's, you got to suspend Wayne, because Gooby's going to be like, well, hey, if you suspend him, you got to suspend me. And they're going to be like, well, we can't. He's the Tony Romo of baseball. He's that guy that everybody loves. We can't suspend Mark Gubicza. The fans would revolt. We're already getting enough bad press with the gambler man, Kenny Rogers, a.k.a. Shohei Ohtani. So, and with the Oakland A's, just like Wayne said, So there's no way they're gonna go all in on freaking Wayne Randazzo because Gooby's there to back him up. So I love it, and that's what a bro should do. And he backed up his boy, and that's great. I love it. So there is going to be no suspension right there. Let's see. Anna says, "Hey guys, did you see that homer to center field? Oh yeah, that was hit really hard. Let's play it again. Video plays, video plays, video plays." Also, Mike Trout showed again. Lodge, yeah, that is the bread and butter for his dumbass show. Let's see. Art, are we gonna do the trucker hat trivia this year? We haven't done that in a while. I wanted to get to that a lot last year, and just things happen. We do have the printing stuff ready to go. It's just, are we going to have the sponsors pitch in too? So I'm trying to work that out to where we can have consistency. And if we can, we will have some trucker hat trivia, because I do miss that too. I mean, you guys and gals were out there, just typing in as fast as you can to get that trivia to win those prizes. And I loved giving them out. This last game, we gave away a lot of stuff. And maybe I'll give away, Mateo, I might give away a couple things. I have a couple older gifts I can give away, and maybe I'll do that this Friday coming up here. Let's see. Malaire Hero. I'll just say Nero. Nero says Adele needs to play more. Yes, they're wasting his talents right there. Eric Ward says, I saw a really cool interview with Washington on a podcast, the way he talked about the analytics and how they can be used, but how they have to meet the manager halfway. He declared he's the sheriff. I love that, Eric. Let me know what podcast that's on, because when he talks, he spits fire. I've always liked that guy. Even when he was Texas and I didn't like the Rangers, I always respected the man. Ray Ochoa says, what do you think about Silseth's elbow? Because I think it's Tommy John. The velo lower than normal his past 2 starts, and he looks frustrated because he's not able to throw the way he used to. If it's TJ, it's the worst possible scenario. And then this just gives me, you, and everybody else that including your grandma, the right to fire back at us, fire back at the Angel organization, and say, see, we told you, and go all over social media. We needed pitching, and look what happens. We're already thin, and when one goes down, now what? Now we don't, and because you traded Kai Bush and we traded other pitchers, we don't have this guy, we don't have. It's all justified. It's all justified. You can't tell. I can't tell you you're wrong. The fact that we have no emergency pitchers. I mean, just DFA'd a guy that was supposedly going to be an emergency pitcher. What the hell are we doing? That just reminds me of what Vince Lombardi said famously when he couldn't tell what his team was doing. This is what we're doing about what the team is doing off the field.
What the hell's going on out here?
Exactly. Roger Real Sports Lodge is where he invites male athletes and celebrities. He's a Puffy Combs of the sports world. Oh, I don't know about that. Jay Ram says, on popular opinion, I can't stand Gooby Goober. Well, there's times I can't stand him either, because he does go really cheesy. That's why I kind of make fun of him sometimes. But I do love Mark Gubicza at times, because he does call things before they happen. He says, oh, this pitcher needs to go there. So he does bring stuff to it. We've had him on the show. We love him. But there is that cheese factor, and I realize he follows a script, but I just wish, in times where he kind of bucked the trend the other day, that was good to see. I don't like Gubicza overdoing it when we play Kansas City. Yeah, Dusty, he does. He's a Royals Hall of Famer, and he lets you know he is. Gooby Tuesdays was the worst. Didn't like that either. Boy, a lot of hate for Gooby. I love it. That's like, tell us what you really think, and then Gooby's like, how dare you? It's giving him
emotional damage.
But you guys are like, more Gooby hate. And then I'm telling you, he's gonna come back and be like, guys, trust me, think about this.
Stop it. Get some help.
We need Torrey Hunter to come in and announce. Boy, Torrey Hunter would just be great. I'd love him to be a bench coach. Seriously, the motivational speeches that he would give. Oh my gosh. What do we think about the pitch clock? I don't know. It's still out there for me. I still have to think about that one. That's there's still a lot to think about. We still need more freaking information on that. I miss those Munchie Meal commercials. Marty says it's Digging Deep podcast. Ron talks shit about he has so much knowledge to impart. He basically said he'll listen to other people, but he's making the ultimate decisions and player based on effort. I love that. Little Wayne says the people criticizing Gooby never experienced the horror known as Rex Hudler. Gooby was an improvement. Well, I will say this. Little Wayne, when Hudler was on there, he needed weed to slow down. That guy was jumping all over the place. Do you remember when he jumped up and down on the announcer's table? He's the one that kind of started the rally monkey. I mean, that's how amped up he would get. Goodbye, Gooby Tuesday. Who would hang out with you when you changed with every new day? Still, I'm going to miss you. Goodbye, Gooby Tuesday. Jeez. Mateo says, tonight is the first time in a long time where I actually sat down for the entire game. Ron said, you're either in or you're out. It's all about the team. I love that. Also, oh no, Little Wayne, I remember Rex. Marty says, I think Gooby and Todd calling games would be great. Oh, I'd love to call a game. Just give me 2 innings with that guy. I would love that. Do you think Perry brought in Ron Washington because he had ties with the Braves? Yes and no. I think it had to do a little bit with that, but I think he knows the experience of Ron Washington. And Ron Washington has such a great resume, and the baseball players love him. He was a no-brainer, sort of just like Bruce Bochy to Texas. That's a no-brainer. Jim says, wondering if it's gonna be a short show. Anna keeps talking about balls. I'm just saying. Dusty says, I live in Tustin. Rex is like 24/7. We used to put up with him in Tustin East Little League. Put up with him. I like that. Definitely, Mateo. Hey, the number to call in, we'll take a couple phone calls if you guys want to call in. The show is 714-598-3221, 714-598-3221. J Ram says, so did everyone just move on from the trader betting on games? MLB is trying to sweep that under the rug. Yeah, what a great news organization ESPN is. They're too busy talking women's baseball. And then also, they will not talk to you at all about what the Ohtani thing. It's the Halo Honk line.
Hey, Todd.
I can barely hear you, but go on.
What's up, my brother?
What's going on?
Dude, so my boy got second yesterday at the surf contest.
Okay, so he didn't win?
No, but he got second, and he gave me his the big billboard fake check, but he wrote a letter on it and said, "Thank you, Big 20, for your support all week, and you have a hard go." And I'm like, "Yes, sir."
That's awesome.
Thank me. Yeah, but I watched the Angels game tonight. I'm like, whoa, they're winning. Let's go. With my friends and cheering at the restaurant. I was like, let's go, Mike Trout. Come on. And then my first Angel game I watched on TV.
Yeah, I mean he did great tonight, and a triple better than a home run. So yeah, I loved it.
Yes. 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 Yes.
You started what?
I start believing again, wow, we actually have a good season and maybe win. Make it to the playoffs.
Oh, gnarly.
Yep. But I wouldn't go as far as saying, they're going to go to playoffs, but yes.
Maybe. You never know. But, what's it called? I'm rejoining football in 3 weeks.
All right. Well, there you go, man.
Or spring ball coming up. Spring ball.
Well, if you get on the football team, let me know. And if you do anything, I'll get you a jersey again. How about that?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be so sick this season. I'm a senior. Last year of high school. Going to have a girlfriend cheering me on at the games. And hopefully banging in the parking lot times before the big game. Before the game.
Okay. Well, there you go. Yep. There's your 90 seconds of Big 20.
Before I have to go with the team in the locker room, way before, just pump one out. Yeah.
All right.
In the park. of my high school.
Okay. All right, Big 20. Have a good night, man.
Well, Angels win. Go Angels! Woo!
There you go.
He gone.
So, jeez, that was way over the 90 seconds. I got to do better because if you call in, you got only the 90 seconds, and then he was rambling there. So we got to do the 90 seconds only because Artie Moreno dictates 90-second phone calls only. But when he calls in, Drunken Artie gets as much time as possible. That's because he's the freaking owner of the team. Big Hammer, it's baseball, not a show about surfing report, dude. Gooby is class. Gooby takes photos with all the fans, Angel's grandma says. He appreciates the fans. Dusty says, I lie to myself and tell myself that Moreno knew something about it. That's why he didn't push. But hey, it helps me deal and it helps me cope. I get it. R. Martinez says, just read the MLB investigation. And so it's the FBI on Ohtani scandal. MLB said it wishes it doesn't take that long to investigate. Supposedly, R. Martinez, they looked into it or they're looking into it, but it's taking them suspect time to come to any kind of conclusion or any kind of, kind of things to prosecute Mr. Ohtani because he needs to be suspended. His name is all over those wire transfers. He needs to be suspended. And if that's the case, then he needs to suffer just like the Dodgers will. So, stick a fork in my head. He's the 90-second rule. Jim has had enough of him right there. Ohtani sold his soul to Dodger Blue. He sure did. I'm going to call in with the Angels report from Davies' locker. Tommy says, love how Washington is handling this team. I do too, Tommy. That felt 90 seconds. Silent E says 6-4 playoff bound, baby. Woohoo! I need the A train to call so he can say it. Yeah, the A train. Where is the A train? I put out the bat signal again. Let's see. Hammer, this is baseball, not talk about your sex life. Eric says Artie is probably smoking crack and negotiating a deal with a hooker he picked up on Catella. Oh, by the way, was the phone call, were you able to hear, because it was kind of low on my end, was it okay on your guys' end? Were you able to hear Big 20 nice and clear, or was it low? Just give me that heads up because I'm still fooling with all the goddamn sound. Oscar says, but Rendon hitting now, we are going to the World Series. Man, oh man, I swear to God, if he's any kind of contributor, that helps his team out big time. And I mean big time. His Big 20 says, I could talk about anything. I don't have to keep it PG. Dusty says also, it would be ironic if we went to the World Series, get a championship this year, and the Dodgers end up in the cellar. It would be poetic justice. It would be. The weirdest thing, Silent E says, is a nonsense that there's no charges have been pressed, even though Ohtani is accusing Ippei of theft. True, Silent E. We would think that they would be not dragging their knuckles this long on the Ippei investigation. Electronic transfers and stuff like that do not take that long to investigate. If those are very, very well, here we got another phone call. Let's see if we can hear this one. It's the Halo Honk line.
Hi, Todd. It's Grillmaster.
What's up, Grillmaster?
Oh, that was a good win tonight. Trout was great. Seriously, who do you think's in the pipeline to come up to the roster now?
There's not too many guys. I went over this on the podcast. We are very, very thin. Anything needed to come was going to be in free agency. So we're screwed because we got nothing to trade either.
Well, I want to hit everybody with a quick joke just so you can give me the old badum.
Okay.
All right. Why can't you let a politician on a plane?
Why can you let a politician on a plane?
Why can you not let a politician?
Why can you not?
Because he'll destroy the other wing.
I don't know about that. You got any more?
No, because my limit's almost up. I just wanted to say that was a great win. Let's try to continue that tomorrow. And let's get Joe Adele a starter, too, here.
Amen to that. I like Adele. All right, Grillmaster, you have a good night. Say hi to your girlfriend for us.
All right, Todd.
All right, brother. Later. That's Grillmaster right there. Let's get back to the it was a terrible joke. He's got to work on that. Also, Ippei should sue the Dodgers for saying that he was stealing money from Ohtani. Dusty says $4 million. Most people would send their mother up the river for stealing $4 million from them. Close friends, my ass. Let's see. Also, and I agree. I mean, how do you not miss, or how do you miss $4 million from your account? Again, I get $20 from my account sent somewhere, and I get a notification. So don't believe that for a second. And he has people to run his estate. So don't you think one of those guys, one of his bankers, one of his freaking money men, because you have people running your estate, running, transfers, your air flights, your wife's stuff, everything, planning his wedding. He's got people to run his stuff. Someone should have told him money's missing, especially that much. Thinking of what to call the call screeners in order. No more surf talk period. This is a new season. Ray says we've got Andrew Wantz in the PCL pitcher of the week. Yeah, that's not going to go over very good. Big 20's booing Grillmaster. So I guess we'll end it on that for tonight. Again, we have no. I got to call Artie and see if we're gonna get him on this week, either that or get Terry Smith, a couple other people we can possibly get. By the way, we have a special guest on the podcast on Thursday from the MLB Network. We're very pumped up for that. We're also going to have, if you remember, and we've had him on the podcast already a couple times. We had him at the beginning of the season. Lee Hacksaw Hamilton will be at the end of April on our podcast. And he will be breaking down the Angels, Dodgers, and Padres first month of April, the legendary broadcaster. And but we are going to have a surprise from the MLB Network and the TNT TBS Broadcasting Network of television. And he has his own podcast on Sirius XM. He's going to come over and give us a shot. I'll reveal that name on Wednesday's show, give you a little teaser for Thursday. So we got some pretty good interviews coming up. We're going to be talking a lot of serious baseball on the weekly. So check us out. Every day we're going to have a show. So it's not just a post-game show. But I will remind you guys, tomorrow's post-game is going to be on time, but the one on Wednesday, because it's a day game, you got to wait for me to get off work. And then as soon as I get off work, I'll be in studio to do a later one, like around 5 or 6. Real quick on the scores, like I promised earlier, the White Sox are now 1-9 as the Cleveland shitfucks beat them 4-0. The Marlins have the worst record, though. They are 1-10 as the Yankees go to 9-2. Watch for the Yankees to fall apart at the midpoint of May. They win 7-0 today. Break up the Buccos. They are 9-2. They beat the Tigers, who are 6-4, 7-4. The Reds beat the Brewers 10-8. Both teams are 6-3, 6-4 respectively. The Mariners are off to a slow start. They are now 4-7. The Blue Jays win 5-2. The Mets come back and beat the Braves 8-7. The Raiders beat the Twins 4-2. Shohei gambling Kenny Rogers with a home run in that game. Phillies beat the Cardinals 5-3. The Astros beat up on the Rangers 10-5 in Texas. The Rockies finally get their third win of the season, beat the disappointing Diamondbacks, who are 0-4 on the road to start the season. They lose 7-5. The Padres come from behind. They were down 8-0 actually to the Cubs and wind up winning 9-8. Well, so what a comeback right there for the Padres. And the Nationals beat the Giants. The Giants are struggling, even though they picked up a lot of free agents we wanted. They beat them 8-1. So there's some surprises so far, and I think you could lump the Angels in a nice, pleasantly surprised category to start the season. Let's see. Gooby backing up Wayne was good. That's what a brother does. Brian says, I wouldn't be saying any team is going to fall apart, Todd. You said that last year about the Rangers, and look what they did. Well, if that's the case and I have that kind of pool, Brian, the Angels are going to fall apart. They're going to suck. So hopefully that you could take that to the bank and the Angels will be in the World Series. Because, yeah, I did. Look, if you want to call me the jinx, if that's the case, then yeah, I was a jinx last year because I kept saying that team was going to lose the division. I thought I was right in August when they fell out of first place. And then I was like, oh, they're going to get bounced in the first round. They're not going to get to the championship series. And they just kept surprising and kept winning. And, man, they freaking won, dude. So, I mean, hats off. I have to admit, I thought Anderson peaked. I fucking eat crow. There you go, Tommy Chin. I thought so, too. And out the gate, he's 2-0. We got a long way to go. And, because I think someone famously said that there's a lot of baseball left to be played. Something about a season starting tomorrow. Who said that?
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
John Stamos choked on me.
All right. We get it. But, hey, we're winning right now, right?
And by winning, I win here and I win there. Now what?
I don't know. I'm just asking. I mean, we won here, we won there. I mean, that's been the story of the last 4 games. We win one, we lose one, win one, stuff like that. We got to change that. Get into a winning streak. All right. So with that being said, everybody have a good rest of your night. We will see you back here. Same bat time, same bat child channel. Go Angels. Nice win tonight through and through. And again, catch us on the flip side. Check out the podcast, like and subscribe, and keep following. Tell a friend. Go Angels.